Okay, we're back, and today we've got a big one because we're gonna talk about my friend's little sister has it in for me. And man, I don't know what's happening, but these titles are getting wilder and wilder with every year, man. I don't know what happened, but somehow we went from Naruto and Death Note to my friend's stepmom's neighbor daughter's butthole can't smell this good, bro. Like, I don't know what went wrong, but something did. Alright, well, this intro was weird enough, so let's actually get into this anime. We have a team of 5 developers called the Oi Fifth Floor Alliance, and the main character is this guy right here called Oboshi, and he is obviously the one that will get all the hugs in the end. Then we have his best friend, which is the typical Mr. Popular and Mr. Handsome guy that would normally end up getting all the girls, but since we're in a rom-com, obviously he doesn't get any play at all. Then we have his little sister, which is one of those annoying little girls, extremely similar to Nagatoro from Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, if you've watched it. If you didn't, basically, she's the opposite of those shy tsundere girls, you know. I'm not sure what the term used for this type of girl is. If you know it, you can share it with me in the comments, but she's basically just trying to rage bait you, you know. She's gonna be teasing the main character during the whole anime and eventually probably end up falling in love with him. That's my guess at least. Personally, this is one of my least favorite type of girl characters in rom-coms, but it usually makes the com from the rom-com better, so at least we have that. We also got this green-haired guy, which is that useless background character that's there just for some comical effect. I don't feel like he plays a big role in this series, but you can't hate on him either. He's probably the type of character that jump scares you when the main character is about to have his first kiss or something, and he might be stupid and not even have that much screen time, but he'll probably be the door to some funny moments, you know. Oh, and also, he's in love with his teacher, which feels just a tiny bit cliche, but hey, I'm not pointing any fingers yet. Yeah, so pretty much the idea of this anime is that Oboshi is forced to pretend to be his own cousin's boyfriend in order for his uncle to do him a favor of some sort, like, I'm not sure, maybe get a job position or something like that, you know. Now, I don't hate the fake boyfriend idea, and I'm not saying it's extremely cliche, but I've seen it before, for example, in Nisekoi, and overall, I don't know how to feel about cousins dating, because if I had to guess, and if it's gonna turn out the same way it did in Nisekoi, then let's just say they're gonna be more than a fake couple in the end. And I really can't say I want that to happen. As annoying as the red-haired girl is, I'd rather him date her than his own cousin. Now, for some reason, his cousin seems to be hating on him, but not in that, oh my god, I hate you kind of way, but she acts like she actually despises him. I understand that he legit busted it inside her toilet stall, but I keep thinking like, these guys are cousins, man. Why are they acting like they've never met before? Even when introducing herself to the class, she slips and says that he met him in the bathroom, which is not even true. They've known each other since they were kids. Despite all of that, she still gets jealous when she hears that Oboshi hangs out with another girl. Like, bro, you're literally his cousin. Like, nah. Like, this just pisses me off, man. I don't know if I can call her a tsundere. I'm not well educated enough to be using those terms, but she's one of those shy girls, but at the same time, she still acts dominant with Oboshi, and she tells him, go get me seafood or I'm calling off this dating thing. Like, oh my days, bro, this character, nah, honestly, never mind the character. This whole anime is twisted as hell. Okay, now, for the plot twist that caught me off guard, what the hell is happening between the teacher and the protagonist, bro? Everyone thinks Oboshi is about to get murdered by that dominant teacher, but it turns out he's legit treating her like a dog. Like, what is happening in this anime, bro? That was my first reaction, but it turns out she is actually part of his development team as an illustrator, so it seems that the whole queen act she puts on in her classroom is just roleplay. Like, wow. Well, I guess it was kind of satisfying to see her getting humbled like that. My next question is she gonna join this love polygon that's currently being built? Because If she is, then this anime will become even more twisted. First, we had incest between cousins. Next thing you know, we have a teacher grooming her student. Well, I guess that's to be found out. Then later in the episode, Oboshi did the worst possible thing and asked Iroha for advice. And I'm not joking when I say this. I blinked and the next thing I saw was Oboshi with a dog leash around his neck, acting like a slave for Mashiro. And to top it all off, Mashiro crashes out thinking that Iroha and Oboshi are actually a couple. I mean, bro, at this point, I feel like we're just taking the piss here, man. At the end of the second episode, we find out that they are all neighbors actually. Something that's for sure gonna raise the tension between Mashiro and Iroha, making this love triangle or polygon or whatever it turns out to be so much better. Third episode was pretty interesting. We saw Oboshi rage baiting Mashiro to the point of exasperation. I mean, to be completely honest, it's more accurate to call it harassment than rage bait, but at any rate, rage bait, harassment, bullying, call it whatever you want, it was very satisfying to watch for some reason. All he was trying to do was get her to come to her own welcoming party. Like, you couldn't possibly be more ungrateful than that. Then we get a little break. We get to see Oboshi doing who knows what with Iroha at the supermarket. And then 2 minutes later, you probably guessed it, we have Oboshi harassing Mashiro all over again. And this time, it's fully blatant, bro. He gave up being nonchalant and at this point, he just starts chasing her without a single care in the world, bro. And after a very emotional speech, they somehow managed to fall in the river. Oboshi literally calls her sexy as if she isn't his cousin, and then he hugs her because apparently Mashiro forgot how to stand up on her own, bro. And after all of this, I don't know what could have possibly made this happen. Out of everything that's happened so far, Mashiro finally decides to open up to Oboshi and makes up with him, and at the end, she gets tricked into attending her welcome party and she finally accepts her fate. This anime was a full-blown roller coaster so far, and we've still got one more episode to go. So before we do any judging, let me break down the fourth episode as well. So we get to see some backstory of when Oboshi met Iroha for the first time. A time where Iroha was actually acting like a normal person before she got too comfortable. We also get to see a girl that we saw hang out with Iroha earlier in the anime. She calls herself a delinquent, but as Oboshi said, she seems more like someone who looks out for others. We don't know a lot about her yet, but who knows, she might actually play a big part in the anime later on. Anyways, this scene made Oboshi realize that the Kohinata family might not be so normal, so he decided to invite himself over at their place to quote-unquote play games, but in reality he just wanted to stalk Iroha to see what kind of person she really is. Unfortunately, not only does he get caught red-handed, he gets caught completely red-bodied, bro. This has got to be the most awkward scene of the entire anime yet. But he doesn't apologize, doesn't run away, no. He covers her mouth so she doesn't scream and then forces his way into her room. Oh my days, bro, if this is not the start of a full-on hentai, then I don't know what is, man. The fact that I can't even predict what's gonna happen is a big plus for sure. And out of all the animes I watched, Oboshi looks like he might become my #1 rom-com stalker protagonist. Anyways, moving on, we find out that this blonde girl called Tachibana is actually one of Iroha's delinquent friends that supposedly influences her in a bad way, so Oboshi confronts her and we actually find out that Iroha's mom won't let her have any freedom or hobbies. This explains why Iroha admires Tachibana as a delinquent, because she does what she wants, where she wants, and when she wants, making it seem like she has complete freedom in her life. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, at this point my brain felt completely fried and I just couldn't be bothered listening to the entire conversation anymore. But long story short, Oboshi said he was gonna help them with something and then went to Ozu to ask him to make a video game together with Iroha and Tachibana as their playtesters. And this was basically their backstory. Oh my days, I am so glad I finally finished yapping about these episodes, and if this is gonna be a 12 episode series, then we've got at least 8 more episodes to go, so that's at least 8 more times I'm gonna smash my head against the desk. Nah, I'm just joking. Anyways, I'm not sure when the 5th episode will be dropping, but you can expect a video from me as soon as it comes out. Now, my honest thoughts and opinion on this anime so far. I've enjoyed it, while it does feel low-key brain-rotty, because it hyper stimulates me. At least you know you're never gonna get bored with it, and it's exactly my style of rom-com, you know, with this love triangle or polygon or whatever. Also, the protagonist has to be my favorite character for sure. You know, I don't really like rom-coms where the main character is a complete loser, like in Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, and also Oboshi is a great rage baiter as well. I'm not sure how realistic the fact that him blatantly being a creepy stalker and not only getting away with it, but also apparently turning the girls on, and when I say the girls, I mean his cousin, but I've always had a saying, and my saying goes like this: rom-com animes are probably less realistic than fantasy animes. I've said it. Honestly, I'd be more willing to believe a meteor hit the earth and now everyone has superpowers than some loser pulling 12 baddies by just being a loser. Like, that's never gonna happen. But you never know with meteors, man. Anyways, I'm excited to see what this anime has in store for us next. We still have to see the rest of the 05th Floor Alliance's members, and I'm really curious to see how everyone's relationships will end up now that Mashiro is part of the group as well. Will Oboshi decide to become a true man from Alabama and settle with his cousin as his girlfriend? Or will he at least go for his friend's little sister? Man, that sounds so weird. Nah, I'm actually done. But let me know what you thought about this in the comments. I'll read every single comment, so you might as well leave one. But yeah, man, my throat is already sore from all this yapping, and to make things even worse, I'm hungover as hell from yesterday's Halloween party. So I'll be ending it here, and I wish you guys a good rest of the day or night, and I'll see you tomorrow hopefully. So take care and bye bye.